Wonderful cider. How you doing, everybody? It's Dan here from Brewers. Welcome back to the channel. Today I am back in my garage with the Essencia Express 50 litre still. So you might have seen the unboxing video when I took it all apart and took it out of the box. Well, now we've got it here and we're going to assemble it and do a stripping run with some wash. So we'll get into this. We've got a lid here, which really snug. So here's our 1/2 inch ball valve. So it already has a gasket on there. So that's the seal that's going to seal up against that. We have our 1/2 inch nut. Just over hand tight should do it. You can use the tap to give it a bit of torque on the outside. Okay, fine. Okay, so now we have our tap assembled. It would be a good idea to get the cable out of its little house. So here it is. Make sure that's out of the way before we put anything into our boiler. So one thing to mention about this still, it is a 3 kilowatt still boiler, and it comes with a 15 amp plug. So this is going to basically need to fit into a 3 amp socket. Plug it in. I won't turn it on just yet. I'm going to now fill the still with my wash here. This is a turbo wash with 6 litres of sugar, 6 kilos. Woohoo! And it goes. So I should mention, for the purposes of this video, I'm just doing a 20 litre wash, but this distillation boiler will take double that. So it'll take 45 litres of wash. So now we're going to assemble the bulkhead onto the lid. So we've got a silicon gasket which sits on the outside of the lid, and cleverly I will mention that they have a Teflon seal here, or gasket, to go on the inside. So Teflon is a far superior product to be using while distilling, and it doesn't leach, which is far better for your product. So that's a nice big Teflon gasket there. That's secure. So here we go. Put that on the top. Looking good. Now we've got our clamps. I like the feel of these clamps. Look at that. That's very secure. Okay, job done. That is not coming off there. Nice. So now we're going to move on to our extension, 2 inch. We've got our 2 inch clamp. On. All right. Now for our product condenser. This is really well made. It's got a good weight to it, and it looks handmade. You know, this isn't made in a factory where they're pumping out still after still after still. This is really thought out and put together with a lot of skill. Let's get it up on the top here. We've got another 2 inch gasket. Okay, condenser on. It seems that when you move that, there is a bit of a wobble. I'm not too worried about the seal or anything, but in terms of the lid, maybe that could have been built slightly heavier just to compensate for that. But hey, this is, you know, a lot of weight up here. So why only plug the boiler and turn the thermostat to Should I read this out while I'm doing it? Yeah. Why not, eh? So while we assemble the rest of this, I'm going to actually turn the boiler on and start to heat up my wash. So the instructions here are saying to turn the thermostat to 85 and then switch on the 2000 watt element. In the instructions, it says that this light, this green light here, will come on green when it reaches 85. So that's quite a handy tool. Okay, so now the boiler's kicked in and it's heating up. So the next stage is to cut our hoses to the right length. So basically we've got one piece of hose and I've cut it into 3 pieces. Here we are. I've got one piece which I need to join my product condenser to the actual condenser. So here's our product condenser. And we are crossing it over to the main condenser. So the water will flow in from here. Our other piece of hose, which is down here, I have put the supplied male hose fitting on with great difficulty, I might add. That was really hard to get on there. I think the outer diameters of this fitting here is probably 12 mil, and maybe the internal diameter of this hose is 8 mil. So yeah, that was difficult. I managed to get it on there. So this is our water in from our water source, attached to the product condenser. Okay, so we got our last piece of hose here. So this needs to be cut to put the thermometer in line, basically. So I'm going to cut it about there. We want that thermometer here to be as close as we can to the exit. So this is going to come up here. Get that on there nice and tight. Okay, that's almost at the exit there, right at the exit. So, and then the other piece of hose is going to come off out of the T for the exit of the water. Now, the only thing they didn't provide here was something to get your water out into the garden or out to your drains. So I'm going to have to adapt something from this piece of hose. Tonight I'm going to go to my spa pool because my spa pool needs a fill up. So that's where this water is going to go. Okay guys, so yeah, we had a bit of an explosion with the water. I got it all hooked up and didn't realize that there was a shut-off valve at the other end of the exit hose by my spa pool. So the water just blew off here and water just sprayed everywhere. But hey, that's part of distilling. So we have the hoses all connected up now. We have the white hose here, which is the water in. So that flows down through here, down through the product condenser, up through the product condenser, and out down into the main condenser. And then we come out here, up through here, up through this red and grey hose, all the way out to the spa pool. Okay, so here's our beautiful thermometer. So we need to put that up on top of our tower into the bung. Here we go. Oh, that just slides in there beautifully. Ready? And we have our alcohol out hose here, out the bottom of the condenser. Which will come out here. So I need to get my blast image on and we'll put that in place and we're almost ready to distill. Okay, folks, so we have a green light here. The wash is at 85 degrees and it's now time to turn up our temperature up to 110, as in the manual there, and we're going to go and turn our water on. So that'll be me. I'll turn the water on, and we're going to be looking for a temperature of 65 degrees up here in the head thermometer. It's taking its sweet time, isn't it? So we've come up to the boil. Okay, so we've come up to the boil, folks, and the temperature was rising rapidly up on the head here. So distillate started to come out, which is part of the 4 shots. We've collected maybe, I'm going to say 20 mils if we're lucky. So it's maybe not all of the 4 shots. So we're going to continue to run that. One thing I noticed was I had the water full up, and now the temperature is really dropping up here. I changed the boil from 2000 to 1000, but we need to bring it back up. So I will switch off the 1000. We're back to the 2000, and we'll watch it rise. We've got our collection jars here. Notice I've got a few smaller jars here for the 4 shots and the heads. The larger jar will be for our good middle section, which is known as the hearts. So the distillate is starting to come out there now, very slowly, but we'll let that reflux for a bit and take off all those volatiles. So we had another blowout, folks. This hose blew off from the mains coming in, and it completely soaked me. This is where the most pressure comes in, coming in from the mains here. The most back pressure is around this point here. So what I've done is I put a clamp here and a clamp here, and hopefully that fixes the situation. So yeah, good thing my garage needed a bit of a wash down. It's rising really quickly. Funnily though, the temperature isn't changing a lot. That's pretty stable right now. It's sort of sitting at 70. Right, so we're trying to manage the temperature here, folks, and the optimal temperature recommended by Essencia is 65 to 75 degrees in the tower head here that you can see. So that requires some water management. Basically, you've got to control the flow of the water that is coming and passing through the condenser here. So I will be in and out of this door a few times trying to get that the temperature steady. So it's around about 62 degrees. So we should start to see some distillate come through very shortly. We're still at the 4 shot stage, and the temperature was reduced quite a bit by the speed of the water. So I've reduced the speed of the water to bring the temperature of the head and the condenser up slightly. So it is starting to rise. So we should see some distillate come through very shortly. I'm back. Yep. Well, maybe we should wait for the lag. It's condensation. Okay, 66. But the temperature of the water should be between 35 and 45. It's slow though. I mean, it's okay. I reduced it slightly. 27.8, 27.6. So 27.8. You just turn it off. After 50 minutes. Yeah, I got you a glass of water as well. Don't put that in the video. You gonna watch it flow now? So okay folks, we've got a bit of a flow on now, and we're running this still a little bit cooler, just because we want it to be as clean as possible. But the spirit coming out of here now is starting to change, starting to clean up. So we're going to switch to jar number 2. We're going to call this our 4 shots. It's probably a good 150 mils there of 4 shots. So yeah, that'll be our poison that we'll throw away. And this time, okay, again. This time we're going to see something. Okay, 30.9. That's gone up. This has to come up. But I think we're getting somewhere. This jar here is getting pretty full, so on to the second. We're dealing with heads right now. It is starting to clean up in terms of volatiles, but we're going to switch to this third jar. I might add that I increased the voltage here and switched in the 1000 watt element as well, and that's definitely helped with the distillation and sped it up. So the temperatures seem to be pretty stable right now. I've been in and out of the door trying to control the tower temperature, but the energy that was coming from the boiler was actually a little bit too low, so I only had the 2000 watt element on. So now we've got the 3000 and we're rolling. So shortly we should be running into some hearts. So I'm just taking a reading here, folks, wanting to see the alcohol content. Pretty sure we're into some hearts here. I'm going to pop that into the main collection jar. I'm going to drop my alcometer in here. It's coming in about 93, hold on, 95% right there. Okay, folks. So here we are in the main part of the distillation, collecting hearts, and we've taken off around about 550 mils, which includes the 4 shots in the heads. The stuff coming out of here now is super clean, and it's running at around about 94 to 95% ABV. So it seems that the Essencia Express statement about their 94 to 95% alcohol statement is true at this stage. So we'll see what we're going to collect towards the end, and we'll check in then. Alrighty. Okay, folks. So we're getting a good way through the distillation now, and I'm going to take another sample and drop that into another jar there. We'll take a sample with our alcometer here. What have we got? Okay, so we're around about 92. We're about 92% there, so it's definitely starting to change. The sample we had before was 94 to 95, but still we're getting a good product coming through here, but it's a good opportunity to swap the jar out, just in case we run into those tails there. One thing I'll say about the Essencia Express Still is the water management and temperature management is actually fairly stable. So I have been running in and out of the door here trying to slow the speed of the water. But what I realized was that I'd been running it on 2000 kilowatts, and that's not really enough for this size still. Even though with the half batch in the boiler there of 23 litres, you need that energy. So you need that 3 kilowatt of energy to run the still at a stable temperature. So unlike some of the other stills out there, you need, water flow management. I've just been using the tap out there. There's no, needle valve or anything in between the water and the boiler here and the still, and it just seems to hold. So pretty impressive, really. I'd like to use this again now that I've used it once and I sort of understand how it runs. Sort of like riding a bike, really. Once you've ridden a bike, you know how to ride it again. And yeah, I think you could do some great stuff with this still. So yeah, we're pretty much coming to a close here, but we'll be back with the results of the alcohol at another date, and we'll taste the alcohol and see what's come out. So yeah, we've taken 550 mils off the front, collected probably around about 2 litres so far in the demijohn here. I suppose by the time we finish, we'll end up with around about 3 litres at 90 something percent. Thanks for watching, folks. I'm going to sign off for tonight and look forward to catching you all up at another time. All right. Cheers. Thanks very much.